Ladies and gentlemen, we have yet another Silverado with a check engine light. This one's a 2020 2500 HD with a 6.6 liter gasoline engine. I'm sure it's just going to be a chafed wire going to the active grill shutter or the cooling fan, but let's dive into it and see what it's complaining about. Oh yeah, better show what year it is, otherwise people won't believe me for some reason. They'll say some weird crap like, that plastic piece is supposed to be over on the other side. That's a 2019, not a 2020. It was manufactured 6 of 19, so it is a 2020 model. There. Alright, we can find out together. Moment of truth. We have a P0196-00 and a P0198-00. We have engine oil temperature EOT sensor performance, engine oil temperature sensor circuit high voltage. Huh. Believe it or not, there is a list of known places wires chafe on these trucks, and there's like 20 items on that list. I'm pretty sure that engine oil temperature sensor is one of those places where wires chafe. So let's go find it. When you're looking for an oil temperature sensor on a General Motors pickup, you're going to be looking around the oil filter someplace. That's usually where they are. Well, that's stupid. Independent front suspension on a 2500. I would like a nice solid live front axle. But back to the point, there's your oil filter right there, and just above it is this guy right up here. This is your oil temperature sensor. Now, if you look at this wire up here, you can see it's a little bit nicked up where it's been hitting this guy up there, but it's also very rigid in this harness, all the way up to this point, just to where the plug-in is. All of the flex of the wire is right up here at the back of the plug-in. Let's pull that out of there and have a look at it. There we are. As you can see, all of the wire's movement is confined to this area just behind the plug-in. That fatigued this wire and it snapped off. Usually what I would do is strip this wire back further so there was more wire to move around after I fixed it, but there's nothing I can do about it. This has to be wrapped in this insulation because it's so close to the exhaust. All I can do is repair this wire, put it back together, and wait for it to happen again. Inside of this plug-in, there is a little C-shaped red tab. You can barely see just one end of it. If you take a pick and lift that up, you can push that tab over to the right a little bit, and then these wires will just pop out of there with their pins. I'm going to push that out of there. Now, this is a small town. The nearest General Motors dealer is an hour away, and they can't get me that pigtail today. As a matter of fact, the gentleman I spoke to isn't even sure if he can get me that pigtail. He said he'd call me back, but I need this truck on the road today. So what I'm going to do is strip this little bit of wire off the back of that some and solder it to the wire that I have up underneath of it. Then I'm going to seal the back of that plug-in with silicone. It's not a perfect repair, but it should hold as well as this did, at least. There we go, she's all soldered up. Now I just need to push this pin back into this connector and seal the back of it. Then I'll put some dielectric grease on the seal and plug it back in. There we are, all sealed up and back together. Let's see if she's fixed. It is reading engine oil temperature, and it is climbing as the engine runs, so I'm assuming this is fixed. Let's see if we can clear the code. Yay! I would like to thank General Motors engineers for making this video possible. Where would we be without them? I would be putting a timing chain on that F-150 over there, which is what I have to do now that this is done. But thank you, General Motors engineers. This has been nice.